Hey everyone. So far, what do we say? We said that we're creating totally great websites in mass, all the industries times all the locations. We can do that. And then as we put them out, they're going to gather a lot of pages. People doing organic searches are going to tend to click on our pages, and we're going to capture who about 30% of them are. So about 3 in 10 people. And we're going to immediately go offering those to the companies in the area. All that happens totally automatically, no manual effect, no manual effort. Once a month, we refresh the pages, which is basically push button now in our system. It's really automated. I don't know anywhere where a system is built this fully, but the intention's not new. For anyone who's just never heard of a model like that, by the way, let me point out how not new this is. Go to homeadvisor.com. If you were to sign up there, you would say, yeah, I'm a plumber in Chicago or whatever. And they'll say, okay. They'll say, here's how it's going to work, right? People in Chicago who go looking for a plumber might see an offer or an ad that says something like compare plumbers here or request a plumber here, and they'll click. And it'll give them a page going, hi, what do you need? And they'll have like simple drop down, simple pages. You're just filling a few basic drop downs, basic notes, right? To say you're looking for, bathroom, kitchen, whatever it is, sump pump repair. You're looking for someone in this area. You're looking, zip code or whatever. You're looking for somebody availability like now, today, tomorrow, next week, doesn't really matter, and so on. And so they'll just have a handful of questions and whether it's an emergency or not. And by the time they're done asking you, they have a really strong sense of what you're looking for. Okay. And then they'll tell you up to 5 plumbers will contact you to offer their bids, whatever. And they'll text all the plumbers or email all the plumbers immediately going, hey, we've got this lead. This guy wants this in this area with this availability and so on, right? That way everyone can critically assess whether they could be interested in the lead. And then they can claim it. When they go to claim it, they pay a fee. And the fee is something like, $25 or whatever it is. And the thing is this, though, Home Advisor sells that lead. They say they sell to a maximum of like 3 to 5 guys, but really sometimes they're selling it to 6 or 7. It may be also the way their programming set up that 6 or 7 guys manage to claim the lead at once sometimes. And I'm not putting words in their mouth. And quick disclaimer, there's no proof that they're doing that they said, but some people have said they have that suspicion. So I'll just leave it at that and say, here's the problem. When the leads get sold to multiple companies and each company winds up in a bidding war, they really do. And so they hate it. Most people say, I hate Home Advisor after a while. They'll say, I can't stand Home Advisor. And why? Because they're able to buy the leads for cheap, but the reason the lead's going cheap is because it's getting sold to multiple people at the same time, right? That makes it hard for the plumber. The plumber would rather pay an exclusive price for the leads that they grab in order for other plumbers not to also be in the running, right? But that's no true proof that the client or the guy in the home who's requesting the plumber isn't also talking to some other plumbers that he found outside the system altogether. So there still could be a bit of a bidding war, but at least it's not 3 or 5 guys from the exact same situation with the exact same challenges, all calling at exactly the same time, trying to be the first one in the door, right? Because that kind of happens. So anyway, that's a challenge. So Home Advisor, it's a normal place where that happens. Another one that's kind of like that but different is bark.com. So when you go to Bark, you explain what kind of thing you want. Like, hey, I'm a plumber in Chicago. They go, all right. And I think you can choose whether you want leads exclusively or not, but then they're expensive, $45 a lead or whatever. John's looking for this. Now, the information you get about John is enough, right? Like when you pay for the lead, you'll be able to call him, email him, talk to him, whatever it is. I mean, fine. And if there's an issue with some of those leads not panning out, that's okay. You can call and request a credit reimbursement, and they'll give you an allotment, give you some extra credits, whatever. And we can certainly do that too. That's not a problem at all, especially because for us, this is organic. So the prices are under control. Later, could we want to get in AdWords and also make use of that? Absolutely. And why? Because us versus other guys in AdWords, what's the difference? Nobody has to fill out the forms for us. We already know who they are anyway, a bunch of them. Now, reality check is AdWords by itself, you're going to hear from like 3% of the people. But in our case, it's 30% that we can give you. So you can call through 10 times as many people. So they're less proactive. The people usually, like maybe 3 did fill out a form. Maybe they didn't. But the point is, you can call them. So maybe they even called a phone number when they arrived on the site, but you can also call them too. So we can allow that. We can allow, if somebody goes to the website and they happen to call, fine. But then we can also sow the lead to their competitors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other competitors. As many as we think is reasonable within that area without causing a crazy bidding war. All right, like roofers, right? Every roofer already knows that the people they talk to are talking to more than one roofer, because nobody buys roofing impulsively. They call a few companies, ask for different prices and availability and stuff. Some industries are better that way. Okay. Now, having said that, I think you get your minds around how well this can work. It's pretty crazy. With the number of hits that we've had, even coming through our visitors, just random hits. And we're grabbing leads off of that. Now that we're organizing these runs and organizing the quality of the production so much better, we're really going to be able to dial all this in and get just thousands of leads, probably daily before long, that are going to be hot, right? Across multiple industries across the nation. They're all being sold. Many of them are being sold. So, okay, let me come back to where we're at, because this is huge. We're trying to build it too big to fail, and we think we're there. Okay, so let me continue. We put out the pages. People happen to land on them. We start capturing a bunch of leads, instantly reselling them to the market. And timing matters. All this happens in seconds, right? From the time somebody lands on the web page to that text going out to all the companies in the area is seconds. Okay, less than a minute. So for a company to claim the lead and get it, it can be literally within a minute of the guy landing on the website that some company claimed the lead and got the guy's information. And he's able to approach this guy now. He decided to buy that lead. He's able to approach this guy. All right, so if nobody grabs that lead within 5 minutes, we resend the lead for a 50% discount. Now, is this guy who landed on the page an absolute buyer? Of course not. Definitely not. He's a maybe, right? But companies are wildly fond of calling through a whole lot of maybes, whether calling to them intentionally reaching them, or if they can't catch them, leave a really good voicemail, or email them, and email them some reason to come to their site. Here's a coupon, if you're in the market for a plumber for, your septic pump repairs, then here's a coupon. You can call us. We have availability now. Reach out to us now. They are happy to do that. And by the way, the leads that we get from the websites, we can text them out. We can, like, directly or by claim method. In other words, it could be claim, or if somebody's got priority, they bought into that exclusively, they paid for those leads, we can just direct send those leads to their cell phone immediately. So their sales guys are just going to get the leads popping up on text, and they can do whatever they do over and over again right then and there. Boom. Call each guy or whatever it is, right? So no problem there. Now, and that's funny. I mean, I get a text as soon as I pick up my phone. It's different, but it's hilarious. Or it goes into the claim system, and Tom claims this one, Harry claims that, Bob claims this, right? And that's fine with us, right? We don't have any problem with that. They don't have any problem with that. They're getting just the leads they care to grab to call through them. So why would they be happy calling through a bunch of maybes anyway? Well, beats doing nothing, staring out the window, hoping somebody walks in the door. They'd rather call maybes than not have anyone to call. That's the first part. Second part is, as long as it's priced right, they're happy calling through a bunch of maybes to get a few yeses, right? And they'll get the yeses whenever they do. But as long as the price is low, so they can afford to call through a bunch of maybes, then they're happy to do that. Again, a roofer is happy to spend $500 to get a yes. So if we were selling them leads at $50 a pop and giving them that much data on every lead that we get, which nobody can do, he can already figure out from the address how big the roof is going to be. He can look it up before he even goes out there, before he gives them a call, or as he gives them a call, or just knowing from the neighborhood what to expect. So that much value. And whether there's children, he can already talk about how they're very careful to pick up the trash that they drop in the yard and mark things off so that children don't go running out And you know, that's really powerful, right? Just having data like that is really, really powerful. But we can also mail the leads out. So instead of leads going to salespeople's phones, the leads can be, we can literally just email the leads. We can email the guy who landed on the roofing website, right? And so we can just send the email, right? Again, there's a cost per lead, but the leads can be emailed out. That wouldn't work by claim basis. That's just where the guy sets up a different thing with us. That's where he's saying, hey, I'll pay however much a month, $250 a month, to get however many leads to, you know, up to that many leads into my mailbox and just auto send those leads off. And that's totally hands-free for the company, but it's also the least engagement. Most companies don't want hands-free. They want hands-on. Everyone knows that if you go passive, you'll make some money by the month. But if you get hands-on and you contact people on purpose, you'll add a 0 to the end of your monthly income. So if your monthly income was $5,000 a month and you want to bump it to $50,000 a month, that's the difference between emailing out and calling the people on purpose, because you'll convert 10 times as many people talking to them as you will sending them a mail. Okay. Having said that, whatever suits. Some people might want to start with mail because they're already busy calling and they want to build that up first and then add the calling. Some people don't want to call because they're shy, but that's unusual for business. However, if it's true, that's fine. I mean, we could do mailing and or texting. Okay. So the mailing's cool because we're just auto mailing all those people landed on the websites on behalf of the company, right? That is by special deal. Or we get the claim routine by text or direct by text to the sales guy. And let me reiterate this again, lest we forget. The people who land on the website looking for something, as long as they're interested right now, that's why speed matters, because right now they're interested. Then they are happy to hear from one or more companies, a few, not too many. That's, you know, that's a real pain. But they're happy to hear from 1, 2, 3 companies, maybe 5 if it's a big enough deal, about what they're interested in right now. And I compare that to this. Have you ever gone and thought, I want to buy a car. I'm looking for something like a, you know, whatever it is. And you go to a car lot, okay? And you walk around, you kind of think, well, that's sort of nice. That's kind of cool. But you really don't know what you're looking at. So you can't really develop a strong sense of each of these cars you see. So if nobody approaches you, if they look kind of closed, you know, call us later, it's very passive. What do you probably do? Meander off the lot, go to some other lot, right? When does the sale happen? When the salesman approaches you and says, hi, can I help you? You know, what are you looking for? You know, for the very first time, that is what's going to add that 0 to the end of the monthly income in every industry out there, right? So there's that. Now, that's on the one hand. And by the way, can we do both the texting and the emailing? Yeah, we can have the guy in the system, whether he's getting leads directly or by the claim method. And also the guy can have a separate deal with us going on for the mailing to everybody who lands on the sites. Anyway, just to have both actions in play. And the mailing can come from the same place where the guy calls from or a partner company, because we create so many projects, we can do the mailing on behalf of any of those projects. That's another thing. We build into our automation software. We can create the email addresses inside every one of those projects uniquely and individually. So we can literally go emailing out from anywhere we want. Any of those project websites can do the mailing on behalf of the guy. It's crazy. So with that in mind, you've even done this probably. Have you ever gone online and done a search for something like a car? You said, yeah, I'm looking for an SUV, you know, used, a few years old, not more than 58,000 miles, but, you know, something like that. And you put your parameters down. I want to spend up to this amount. And you said, okay, and you submitted. What's the point? You don't want to go driving around all these lots to look for that magic vehicle, right? So you're waiting for people to call you and tell you if they have what you're looking for. So guess what? Within minutes, you get some calls, right? Hey, we've got what you're looking for. It's nice. It's beautiful. You're going to love it. Da, 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 da. Can I come in? Oh, yeah, sure. We're open. Yeah, another guy calls you, hey, we are, and these calls are going to happen quick, 2, 3, 4, 5 calls at the most, and you're ecstatic, you're excited, you feel like the center of the universe, everybody's interested in you. Oh boy, goodies everywhere. So you're going to check them all out, or at least you know how it goes. You're going to check the first one out and buy it because they're going to sell you on it. Unless that's not really what you want, you're probably going to buy the second one, right? Because the sales guys are going to engage you. It's just easy. Now, having said that, you're delighted. Now, what happens if the next day passes? Well, you probably already got a car, first of all. So the next day, a company calls you, maybe 2 or 3. And what are you going to say? Man, I'm sorry, but I got a car yesterday. You got to tell them to pick up the ball getting the leads to you. You're late. I already got a car. Sorry about that. You kind of feel sorry for the guys who are calling them. Well, what happens if a few days pass, like the week, and then a guy calls you? You're going to be like, hey, I bought a car like an eon ago, last Monday. Why are you calling me? Now, that's irritating, right? That's why timing matters. When people are excited about something in the moment or interested in something, curious, need, greed, or fear, any of those 4 are the emotions that drive somebody when they're visiting websites anyway. Curiosity, need, greed, or fear. I mean, you can see all that fear of missing out, fear of going under the knife for cataract surgery in the case of cataract eye drops. And then there's need, I'm a diabetic, I'm looking for a diabetic pill, something like that. Then there's greed, we all know that one already, and curiosity. We're pretty sure about that because we tend to browse through a lot of things, right? So things that pique our interest. Anyway, when we can send all the data to a guy and he can tell how long somebody's been on the site, what pages they're looking at, and enough about the guy to put 2 and 2 together. Those are great maybes. And he'll call through maybes all day long to get a few yeses because that's the job of business, to line up the sales for their team to run out and do those jobs, whatever they are. Okay. And whether they go through Home Advisor, whether they go through Bark.com, or whether they're paying for AdWords, we can beat all that by just offering a better deal. But it doesn't mean they have to stop any of that. Our stuff is in parallel. They get text for free. They don't have to pay or sign up or anything. So we're already beating Home Advisor in that sense. Well, I think there's a fee to join Home Advisor, isn't there? Not a fee to the guys who browse, but a fee to the guys who are the companies to be in Home Advisor, like a monthly fee. And then they pay for the leads anyway, which are sold to a few companies at once. Okay, I said all that kind of in a boring way, probably. I hope not. But what I wanted to do was just wrap that back up to remind you how it goes. So we put out all these websites, people land on the pages, we decrypt a bunch of them, offer them to local guys in whichever community, for whatever industry, and a bunch of those companies get a text, right, from us, and they'll recognize our text really, really fast. They only need to get a few, and they're like, oh yeah, these guys. It won't take any time at all. And they can just glance through it and decide to dismiss it or reply with stop if they really want us to stop, which is rare. Companies who do that, if they stop and we make it clear, if you reply with stop, we cannot re-add you anymore. This phone number can no longer receive these leads. So it's just mentioned in a nice way. And all that means is they got to consider it. So a bunch of guys will, a bunch of guys won't. But the guys who let the leads come, they're the ones who aren't always on top of things in terms of jobs lined up, right? They're the ones who have better days and worse days. And some guys, worse days for sure. So those guys who want to claim the leads, they're just looking for each next job, right? They're open to it because it's no hassle for them. Everybody gets texts on their phone, whether it could be from anywhere, right? You get Domino's pizza coupons, and you just dismiss them, right? You don't stop. But if you're a company and you're getting leads on your phone, it's really hard to want to stop that, right? It's easier to dismiss and just wait for the next lead. But if you're low on leads, you have a backup right here and now. All you have to do is claim a lead quick. First guy to claim it gets it. Everybody else gets a message saying, so sorry this lead's been taken, but keep watching for the next lead. Now, if we allow 2, 3, 4, 5 guys to grab the lead, whatever makes sense without driving those guys bananas, the companies or the customers, then what does that mean? That means that the first 2, 3, 4, 5 guys who claim their leads are able to claim. That guy can claim, 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 if we allow 5. And then after that, So sorry this lead has been taken. Please keep watch for the next leads, right? Real simple, real simple. And then when they pay with credits, they're paying with credits. So when they get like a 50% discount, instead of being a cost of 1.0 credits, it's a cost of 0.5 credits. So it doesn't matter how much they have to spend for their leads, because every industry is different, every location is different. We have defaults, but we can adjust them depending on the metro area and adjust them depending on the industry. And however much they get, they're buying credits and they stockpile their credits. And the usual cost is 1.0 credits from them. But if we offer a discount or something like that, 50% off, 60% off, 30% off, it subtracts that much of the credit, 0.3, 0.7, 0.5. And what they have left after that is the rest of their credits that they can use. So if they get down to 1.5 credits and they claim the next guy for a credit, now they're down to 0.5 credits. Now they cannot make another claim. They've got to replenish their stockpile. They got to add some more credits. They'll be able to do that really fast and efficiently right then and there on their phone. And when they do, they can decide if they're buying 1 credit, 2, 3. We'll probably make it possible to buy 1.5 later, but it doesn't really matter. Those half credits will add up later because they'll get other discounted offers and stuff over the course of time. Okay, I said a lot. Just to make it clear, that we built this thing so big, it's probably too big to fail. And we do not, here's what's different. We don't need to contact any companies at all. We have such a backup log. If some of the companies don't like it and stop, we'll throw a few more in the stockpile to make sure we always have enough guys there. There are always enough guys in a bigger area, not just the city. If a guy replies from South Bend, we don't just tell the South Bend companies about it. We also tell the surrounding area about it, the whole county actually. Okay, that way guys can decide on a case-by-case basis what they want to grab. So we go so wide that everyone's going to want to grab the leads. You know, there will always be leads for being sold through this guy, that guy, that guy. Okay, and we do the 5-minute 50% off to make sure we just maximize how much we get for leads, right? So that we don't waste leads, right? There's another piece. So now that you have all that in your head and it's like, wow, that's about as good as you could get, I'm going to tell you one more piece that makes it so powerful. How about this? What if no one's buying those leads? Some of those leads. What if, can you make money on the leads that do not get sold? That's really what I'm asking. Like, most of those leads will probably get bought. We'll make sure of it as we stockpile companies in. We'll just make sure we get enough companies in who are desperate enough for leads or hungry enough for leads to snatch them up. They like it. It's better than their Google AdWords program. It gives them more information, faster response time. It's better than Home Advisor. It's better than Bark.com. It's probably better than just waiting for people to click on them from Yelp. So they're happy to grab leads through us. No matter what they're doing out there, we're just another marketing channel that they can make use of. And we don't have to contact anyone to land any contracts. What about this though? What if a lead gets through and no one buys it? Can you still make money off that lead? Yeah. So when I explain that, it'll blow your mind because we can make money on the leads that no one in the industry wants. Although, I mean, they're going to want them, but if everyone happens to be busy, if we like got them so many leads they're busy, or they got so many leads they're busy and they can't handle, and we didn't add enough extra guys, can you still make money on leads that didn't get sold? That's my point. The answer is yeah, we went that big. So I'll explain that in the next video.